All right, so welcome to another deep dive. This time we're really going in on a piece of art. It's called In the World, and well, it's kind of like a visual puzzle. We've got a YouTube video breaking it down, and then also a section from a book on Zen Buddhism. Both are taking a look at this painting.
Oh, wow. So it's like we've got a couple of decoder rings for some secret message.
Yeah, exactly. Let's kind of start by setting the scene for everyone. Picture this. It's this lush green landscape, almost dreamy, like bathed in this golden light. It really does feel like you're stepping into some hidden world.
Okay, I can kind of see it. And then at the edge of this water, there's a figure, like a lone figure, the ox herder. He's got a staff and
Yeah.
this round thing, a circular object. The sources actually disagree on what it is. Like, is it a lantern? Is it something else?
So a mystery right off the bat. Okay, I like it. Now, right in the front, there's this one detail that really grabbed me. Did you notice that ox skull? Just kind of sitting there?
Oh, yeah. That ox skull is like, yeah. It's like a clue left behind. It's part of the ox herder's journey, right?
Hmm.
Both sources kind of tie this painting back to those Zen ox herding pictures. Do you know those? The ones that show the different stages of enlightenment?
Yeah, I think I've seen those.
Well, this scene, this painting, it seems to be like
Yeah.
the last stage, the return to the world. But now you've got enlightenment.
So it's not about getting away from everything. It's more like you see everything differently.
That's it, exactly. And that ox skull, it's like he's shedding stuff he doesn't need anymore. All that ego, the whole idea of being a separate self, all gone.
Wow. So he's letting go of what got him there in the first place. Okay. But here's where it gets really interesting. There are all these red-roofed studios, like multiple studios in the background. What's up with that?
See, that's what's so cool about this painting. It's where this whole seeing the world differently thing gets really trippy. The book suggests it's about different layers of reality. Like once you're enlightened, the normal stuff, the everyday world, gets all mixed up with the divine.
So it's not just different places. It's like different ways to experience the same place.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's kind of like, have you ever learned a new word? And then suddenly you see it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that the world changed, it's you, right? Your perception shifted.
It's a great way to put it.
Hmm.
And even the way the ox herder is standing, he's just so calm. He's not like jumping for joy. He's just there.
Right. And that really says something about what true awakening is like. It's not some huge show. It's this quiet way of being where every little thing feels sacred.
It makes you think, what if being happy isn't about chasing some big thing out there? What if it's about actually seeing what's already here?
That's a big question, right? And that's what this painting is all about. What if everything amazing is already part of the normal stuff, just waiting for us to notice?
And this whole thing about returning to the world after you've found yourself, the YouTube video, it actually ties that to two specific hexagrams. Honestly, I need a little help with those.
Sure. So it mentions hexagram 24. It's called Fu. That one means return, like returning to who you really are. Then there's hexagram 19, Lin, and that's all about approach. Like now you're approaching the world with this new, clear vision and wisdom.
So it's a whole cycle. You go inward, discover something deep, then you come back to the world, but you've changed.
Exactly. And now you can see how everything's connected. It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it is. But tell me more about that approach. How does the ox herder, how does he show that?
If you look at how he's standing, there's no struggle there.
Yeah.
He's not forcing anything. It really makes me think of that idea from Taoism Wu Wei, effortless action.
Oh, right.
He's moving with life, not fighting against it.
So effortless action, it's not like being passive, is it? It's more like being in tune with how things naturally are.
That's it. And when you can do that, life gets a lot easier.
More effortless, right?
You're not pushing back, you're flowing. You're
Yeah.
in the moment, and that's where the real joy is.
Okay. But here's the thing. Most of us, we're not walking around these mystical landscapes with ox skulls and stuff. How do we actually live this, like in our everyday lives?
That's the real challenge, isn't it? Can we bring that awareness, that stillness into the everyday stuff?
Can we step through this portal, not into some other world, but into the depth of right now? Because just like that ox herder, we're already home, right? The question is, can we actually see it?
That's the big question. And it's one we'll keep digging into as we go further with In the World.
It's crazy how this one painting, it brings together ideas from Zen Buddhism and Taoism.
Yeah, it's like they both kind of fit together. They both show us how to understand our place in the world better.
Yeah. We were just talking about those Zen ox herding pictures, but then there's this whole concept of Wu Wei,
Yeah.
Effortless action, and that's from Taoism. And you can really see that in how the ox herder is standing there, just so relaxed.
It's a powerful image, you know. Especially these days. It's like we're always getting told to hustle and achieve. You can start feeling like a failure if you're not always doing, doing, doing.
Like, we forgot how to just be. But in the world, it reminds us that maybe real happiness, maybe it's not about all that striving. Maybe it's about finding that peace inside, that stillness that lets us just exist.
Think of it like this. That ox herder. He's gotten to this point where he's not trying to control life anymore. He's surrendered to it.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, he's found real freedom.
Freedom from all that pressure to achieve stuff, to be somebody. Yeah, it's a beautiful idea.
And it connects to another big idea in both Zen and Taoism, being present in the moment. If we're always chasing something in the future, we miss all the beauty that's right in front of us.
Like all those little details in the painting. The green plants, the soft light, how still the water is. It's like the painting itself is saying, slow down, breathe, appreciate the simple stuff.
Maybe that's the real portal, right? The one that doesn't take us to some magical faraway place, but the one that helps us appreciate our own lives, here and now.
And those studios, those red roof studios in the background, they're not just there for looks, are they?
Not at all. They add a whole other level of meaning. Remember how we were talking about them representing different ways to see things, different layers of reality? It's like the ox herder can see the world through all these different lenses.
So he's not stuck with just one way of seeing. And the book says it's not just him. Maybe those studios, they represent how the whole world, even the normal boring parts, exist on all these different levels. And once we're enlightened, we can see them.
It's like the painting is showing us that there's so much more to reality than we usually notice. There's this depth, this richness we can tap into if we open ourselves to it.
You know, it's like that saying, we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are.
Right. And maybe that's the ox herder's message. He's not just chilling, looking at a pretty view. He's inviting us to see the world like he does, to experience that wonder and awe.
And the book actually brings up some interesting art history stuff here. It talks about artists like Caspar David Friedrich. He would put these lone figures in these huge landscapes to symbolize like these inner journeys.
Oh, like that one, Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog.
Yes, exactly. And in those paintings, you often can't see the figure's face. Their back is to you. It's like they're inviting you to step into their place, to experience the landscape through their eyes.
And it's the same within the world, right? The ox herder isn't looking at us. He's looking out at the scene. And we're invited to join him, to think about it.
And maybe by doing that, we can see that deeper reality, that hidden beauty that's always been there. It makes you wonder, what would it be like to walk through the world and be that aware? To see every moment as something sacred?
Oh man, that would be something else. Because then, like the ox herder, we'd realize we're already home. We just have to open our eyes and see it.
This painting, it really makes you think. It's not just a pretty picture.
Right. It's like it's showing us some deep spiritual truth.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just Zen Buddhism or Taoism. This idea that you find enlightenment right here in the world. Well, it's in a lot of different cultures and ways of thinking.
That's true. The idea that real happiness, it's not about escaping the world, but really embracing it. It's something we all connect with, no matter who we are.
I think so too. It's something we can all try for, no matter what we believe or where we come from.
And that's what I find so powerful about In the World. It's not telling us what to think. It's more like it's asking us to explore these ideas, to see how they fit with our own lives.
That's what art does so well, right? It can make us think these deep thoughts and have these conversations without telling us what the answer is.
It's like the painting is holding up a mirror, showing us our own hopes and dreams.
And maybe even making us question what we think we know about living a good life.
What if, just like the ox herder, we already have everything we've been searching for? What if the answers aren't somewhere out there, but inside us all along?
Wow, that's something to think about. And it takes us back to that question from the YouTube video, that question about the portal. Can we step through the portal, not into some other world, but into this very moment?
I think that's the biggest challenge we face, really, to be here now, to see the ordinary as extraordinary, to find peace and happiness right here, right now.
I think that's the message of In the World. Enlightenment, it's not some far-off goal, it's a way of being, way of seeing. And it's available to us all the time.
I like that. I think we've really come full circle in our deep dive into this incredible painting.
I think we have too. And I hope everyone listening has as much to think about as I do.
I hope so too. Because, as we've seen, In the world, it's more than just a painting. It's a reflection of our own journey. It's a reminder that we're all on a path trying to understand more. And maybe the answers we're looking for are closer than we realize.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep looking for those amazing things in the ordinary, everyday stuff.
And don't forget, you're already home. The question is, can you see it?